So ADPI, y'all have the goal of ending veteran homelessness this decade and teaching veterans how to build wealth and replace their income through real estate investing. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so a study was done in about 2020 where there's about 38,000 homeless veterans on the streets today, which is absolutely terrible. I think everybody agrees with that, but it's a solvable problem. And through what we teach at ADPI is really wealth building principles. And we obviously chose a real estate vehicle, but it's important to have something to transition to once you've built a certain amount of wealth and you can make a big impact. So in the last 4 years, we've made a substantial impact on that 38,000 number. And now there's an expected around 32,000 homeless veterans. So it's a solvable problem and we're making a big dent.
Okay. That's phenomenal. We all, I mean, it's sad. Most of us know somebody who got out, didn't have a plan, or even did have a plan, and things did not pan out for them. You know, it's a very prevalent problem in our community, and it's sad. And it's pretty amazing that you guys are now using what you've built to help others and solve this problem, right? Because that's not something everybody would necessarily do once they've generated wealth for themselves.
Hey, I just want to splice this in real quick. ADPI is an education community. We have helped so many military members, veterans, families, and spouses figure out how to build wealth through real estate investing. Now our philanthropic effort is aimed towards ending veteran homelessness, and we have chosen to partner with Veterans Community Project, which is a platinum-rated nonprofit. In the last few years, we have donated a couple houses, and we have raised over $500,000 to help end veteran homelessness. And your contribution and working with ADPI is helping do the same. Thanks a lot.
Where does this passion come from?
That's a great question. I'm glad that you asked because for me, so I served in a special operations unit. I was the burial detail NCOIC for my company. Anytime we lost somebody that I'd known for 6 years, we'd have to go to their hometown and put our brother in the ground. So for me, when I transitioned out, when I ETS'd, I thought everything was great, except I saw a homeless veteran on the street and I said, I bet 20 years ago he didn't know that he was going to be homeless.
Right.
Maybe that's me in 20 years from now. So I said, maybe I owe it to my family to go get checked out. So I was in the VA for first appointment and I was in tears and I had no idea that was coming. I'm not a crier, but so now what I recognize is when you transition, whether you think so or not, you've got to have a new sense of purpose and impact and passion, or you're losing a lot of things you had in the military, all the chemical cocktail the military provides. And that was, for me, it was helping other military members who have served get off the streets.
Right. Talking to you guys, I've learned a lot just in the short time we've spent together over the weekend, right? Most people are in the military for 3 or 4 years and then they get out. How realistic, and they're also junior, right? Keep in mind they don't have a lot of money. How realistic is it for them to get started in this before they exit the military?
We wrote a book called Military House Hacking that really goes over how you can do that as a junior enlisted or as an officer as well, but specifically like, an E1 to an E5 is totally achievable. We actually give specific examples, but the whole concept between military house hacking that I wish I knew 15 years ago was if an agent had told me that I could move off post and buy a duplex, triplex, or a fourplex, I would have done that instead of buying the single family new construction house that my wife and I bought. So the concept is you can live in one unit and rent out the other 3 and actually cash flow. And your living expenses are your highest cost of living. The highest expense you have every month is your rent that you're paying. So why not buy a fourplex if you can and rent out the other 3 and actually make money every month?
Right.
And so that's something that you can do as a lower enlisted, a junior person, or even if you're a young officer, you can do that. And it doesn't have to be a duplex, tri, or a quad. You can do that with a single family house and rent out rooms to your buddies.
Right.
And they're getting paid BAH and you're collecting rent from
And it's
your
just
buddies.
a frat.
Yeah.
And then it's just
Totally.
a big frat.
One time.
I'm not going to lie. Before I talked to you guys, I've always wanted to get into this stuff, but it's so daunting, right? The idea of taking on hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, potentially if you buy a multifamily property, it gets to $1 million pretty quickly, right? The idea of doing that is terrifying to me. And honest to God, I feel really good about it. And I'm really excited to get started with this, especially after reading some of y'all's material. I'm really excited to get started with this. And I'm just shocked at how low the barrier to entry is. You don't need to have a ton of money. You need to have very little money if you have access to the VA loan, right?
That's right. Yeah, the VA loan is a great starting place. It's how I got started. When I ETS'd, I came back to the San Francisco Bay Area, who Steve knows all about. Very expensive market.
Yeah.
And all I did was live in flipped. And so I used my VA loan and bought a house. 2 years later, it was worth 200,000 more. The numbers don't matter, but it was worth more than I bought it for. And I ended up selling it and making more money than I did in a year in the Army.
Right.
And so you can start with something like that, and it's relatively simple. Another thing I'll say that's important to know is ADPI is full of community members that are all military. How do you go into a mission? With a team. How do you go into real estate investing? With a team. And at ADPI, we've got the team pre-built in. It's all military service members. We speak the same language.
You already have a support system.
Correct, yeah. And we also push each other and hold each other accountable all the way through it. So it's not as scary of a thing when you have a team to go into some new mission or purpose like that.
How many people are part of your community now? Like how many people that had no involvement in the real estate investing world, and now they are successfully getting into this space?
Yeah, we're actively helping about 80,000 members right now, all military members and spouses. You don't have to be active duty. You can be a veteran or a spouse or reservist or whatever it is. Thousands of people have taken our education courses, and to date, well over $1 billion in assets purchased. I think closer to $2 billion in assets purchased by thousands of our students. So it's pretty cool.
That's amazing. And you guys have a goal associated with that, right? What's the number? It's so many military families you want to impact?
We are going to serve 3 million military families in the next 10 years.
3 million, right? That's like more people than are in the military right now, right? And that's your goal to serve. That's amazing. I don't think a lot of people understand what real estate does for you. Even something as simple as owning your primary residence, right? I think a lot of people like the ease as they see it of renting, right? But owning even just your primary residence gives you a lot, right? A lot of power. Can you talk a little bit about
sure.
that?
A study was done recently that showed that no matter what income level you're at, people who own their own home, their primary residence, are 40 times wealthier than those who do not. And so there's that one thing. But what does real estate do for you? What does owning a primary residence even? What does it mean if you move off post and buy a 1, 2, 3, or 4 unit? The benefits you get, in short, you get appreciation. We never buy it for appreciation, but eventually houses in America are going to appreciate in value. They're going to go up in value. You're going to get more when you sell it than when you bought it. You get depreciation. Whether you know it or not, your CPA is depreciating that asset also, which is basically just giving you a paper loss. And we don't need to go into the details there, but that's a benefit. You also can get cash flow. Cash flow is a big one. There's actually 6 profit centers that we talk about in our trainings, and we really get people amped up on how lucrative just even buying a single family residence can be.
Yeah. And this is all stuff that you guys teach in the Military House Hacking book and in your online communities.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm super excited to dig into the online stuff. I read the Military House Hacking a little bit last night. I'm super pumped. I really didn't think I could get into something like this because it does. It seems daunting. It's been pretty amazing bringing you guys on my journey as I've, become mandatory fund day. And at this point now, I've grown large enough where I have people that are approaching me, they want to work with me. And quite frankly, I say no to most of them because I don't always know if they have the best intentions for our community. What I am telling you now is that I fully believe in what ADPI is doing. I believe in their mission, and I love their transparency. These are people that are building wealth for themselves, and then they've also found that they are amazing at teaching people how to do the same thing. They are amazing at teaching our community how to change their lives very easily with the resources that we have available. Okay, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be a genius, you just have to be willing to start. Okay, we're consolidating all of this on mandatoryclass.com. I really cannot wait for you guys to see what we're putting together. And those of you that sign up soon, there's going to be an exclusive seminar that I'm going to give talking about branding, how to build your social media presence to work to the benefit of this or anything else that you want to do as far as building a business and building wealth for you and your family. Once you have generated wealth and once you've built something for yourself, that allows you to give back. And that is exactly what ADPI is doing. For those of you that sign up soon, I am going to be teaching a class, an online seminar on how to build a brand. And this could be for your real estate investing journey that you may be wanting to undertake or any other business, right? You are going to become a brand. You are going to build a brand, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it. I'm going to teach you how I've done it. I've gone from almost no social media presence, my personal social media presence, to 45 million unique viewers a month in less than 2 years. I did it with an iPhone 11 and a Dodge Grand Caravan as my recording studio. I promise you, you can do it. There's nothing special about me, nothing more special than what you have right now. So I'm really excited to see who gets in on this. Thank you guys for watching.